So now the third bait I want to show you. The third bait I want to show you is what is called, the company is called Yum. It's called a Yum Dinger. It's a 5-inch worm. I catch so many fish on this. And to make it simple, I'll recommend to you 3 colors. Junebug, green pumpkin, which is my favorite, and watermelon red flake. Watermelon red. A Junebug works really well when you're in dingier, darker water, maybe a little stained or dirty. The watermelon red works really well if you're in shallow water where it's clear, and the green pumpkin works anytime you want it to. It's just the color of all colors when it comes to plastic worms. Now the way I rig this is really simple. The hook that I use, everybody's got their preference, but I use this. It's called a Gamakatsu Offset Shank Worm, EWG, which stands for extra wide gap. It's a size 4. So you're going to take this little hook, you're going to tie an approved clinch knot. Now what I like to do is get these little O-rings. You can get them through tackle shops or order them. And I simply take that O-ring, I slide it over the bait. You can get an O-ring tool. I rarely use them because these baits come with plenty of oil on them. And what I do is I just fold the bait. I've got the little O-ring, and I just hook that thing. I skin hook a little bit of the worm, and it comes out like this. And this is what is called a wacky rig. Now most of the time I will use this, a lot of times I'll use it weightless, but if I want to add a little weight, you can buy special hooks if you want to. I just get little split shots. You take a little split shot, you crimp it on the line just above the hook, and it gives you that extra weight, and it only takes seconds. But this is a wacky rig. Where and when to fish it, you can fish it anytime you want to. Now what happens is if you get into too high a wind, it gets a little more difficult. I like fishing it in shallow water, but I'll fish it deep too, add a little weight to it, let it go down there. And in this next video, I'm gonna go over how to retrieve the wacky rig. So I wanna show you how to retrieve a wacky rig worm, okay? You can see here I got a bank line here. It's got a little bit of dead grass or whatever it is. And there's a couple of ways that I do this, okay? Now this one here has no weight on it, so you gotta give it a second to hit the bottom. The deeper you are, the longer it takes. And so I'm just gonna cast it out, and I'm just gonna let it sink, okay? I watch it, and a fish hit it just as soon as it hit the bottom. In fact, he got it mid-air. We're gonna talk about that in just a second. So let me get this fish in because he's interrupted my video. And well, that's all right, he's pretty good size. You got to see the way this wacky rig works. Pretty good little fighter. Good sized little spot for out here. Pretty good head on him, so it's down and get him. It's a nice largemouth. It's a nice fat little largemouth. I'd say he'd go about maybe close to 2 pounds. All right, so you got to see something. First of all, we put that ring on there because a lot of times it'll save your bait. Okay, and what he did is when I cast it out there, it was about 3 or 4 foot of water. When I brought it out a little bit, he hit it mid-air, and that's what they'll do on this weightless wacky rig. So when they hit it mid-air, you're going to catch them. If it hits the bottom, lift your rod tip up, do a slack line, let it go back down, and that's how you retrieve it to the boat, and you're going to get you a largemouth bass. So these are 3 simple baits that I use all the time. Your top water, early in the morning, later in the evening, wind current on the water, fish are jumping on the top feeding. You got your spinner bait, which you can use at the exact same time. But when the wind current's on top, you can fish it deep, you can fish it in the middle. It's a great search bait because you can fish all of water column from the bottom all the way up to the top. And then of course, your Wacky rig. Very simple. I hope this helps you to get into bass fishing. I absolutely love bass fishing. If you need any help, let me know. I'll just keep making videos, but this is one I really wanted to make on a two-part video on where to start. I hope this helps. Have a good day. Fish on. Talk to you soon.
Get another one show off.
Give me a worm. Get one? Yeah, you got you a crappie.